it's me, Christina, and I wanted to talk about bipolar and the symptoms and the cycles you go through when you have bipolar. First, I want to talk about the symptoms. Sorry, I just ate dinner. When you have bipolar, you go through two cycles. You go through two cycles. One is a mania phase and one is a depressive phase. So we'll start with the mania. So with mania, you often go through euphoria or irritability. Myself, I go through both sometimes. Not at the same time, but but I usually go through euphoria and irritability. So that's when I start feeling irritable, like more than a normal person would. That's when I know I'm going through a maniac phase. You have excessive talking and excessive thoughts, racing thoughts. Your mind is going a mile a minute and you can't control it. And you also have a very grandiose sense of self, like a great sense of self. Unusual energy, lack of need to sleep, impulsiveness, I just bit my tongue. A reckless pursuit of gratification is like what they call it in psychology, when you do risky things to be like, oh yeah, that was such a rush. Like shopping sprees, promiscuous sex, racing, high investments, fast driving, stuff like that. And the major depressive or just depressive side of bipolar is when it's kind of the opposite. You feel depressed and you have low self-esteem and you're sad, you're lonely, you feel worthless and helpless. You slow speech, like you don't want to talk to people and stuff like that, and you feel fatigued and poor coordination. I just have poor coordination in general, so you can have sleeping problems, like you sleep too much or you can't sleep at all. Depends on the person. Often that comes with depressive thoughts is suicidal thoughts and feelings, suicidal tendencies or self-harm. When you're feeling that, you should definitely call a doctor or call 911 and get checked. Not get checked, but get help, the help you need, because you don't want to put your life in danger any more than you already have. Another symptom is poor concentration, like typical depressive stuff, like lack of pleasure in activities, lack of interest, lack of energy, stuff like that. I have a cheat sheet right here. my word probably see it, my word thing. Okay. So we'll talk about the cycles now, and we'll talk about bipolar 1 to rapid cycling. Bipolar 1 involves period of severe moods of mania and depressive. You have to have at least one mania cycle in your lifetime to be considered bipolar 1. Just the same with bipolar 2, but bipolar 2 is a milder form of mood elevation and mild episodes of hypomania, which can also switch up as periods of severe depression. Psychosomatic disorder is the same thing, but briefer periods of depression and is not as long lasting. You don't really see major severe depression in people with cyclothymatic disorder. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong for those who have it. And something I've never personally heard about or met anyone with this, but mixed bipolar is when you feel both mania and full depressive episode at the same time. I've never had, so I don't really know much about it. I just know it is possible, and you can look it up and see. If you do know someone, you can talk to them about it, or you can look it up and see what kind of symptoms. But I know that it's marked by grandiose feelings or racing thoughts. At the same time, person is irritable, angry, moody, and feeling bad. So that sounds familiar. So check that out. And rapid cycling bipolar disorder is just when you're cycling 4 or more times within a year. 12 months is qualified as a year. The minimum more women are likely to have it than men. It's not common for bipolar to be more common in, I do believe it's more common in women than men. It marks bipolar 1, I know at least affects 2.5% of the population. You're usually diagnosed in your 20s. You can be diagnosed earlier or later than your 20s. Usually signs show up before your 50s though. But doesn't mean you can't be diagnosed after you're 50. So yes, that's about it. If you have any more questions about bipolar, please ask. I'd be happy to answer them. Yeah. So I hope you all enjoy your night. It's Halloween, so enjoy your night trick-or-treating or partying and stuff. So good night.